The following is a special presentation of Big Pauly's World of Sports Sims, alternating the reality of sports and entertainment since 2020. Once again, everybody, Big Pauly coming to you this fine Sunday with play from Saturday, April 16th. In fact, I think I'm going to change that next week. We're going to do a Pacific game Saturday and a Atlantic game on Sunday, but actually play the games out each day instead of doing two games from one day. But we have a good game today. It's going to be not Pittsburgh and Miami. We saw that yesterday. It's going to be Houston and Chicago. And we'll have that game for you in 15 seconds. You're watching Big Pauly's World of Sports Sims YouTube channel, in case you didn't know. If you like the video you're watching, feel free to use the Amazon link provided. I'll put it in the description down below. And we are just about underway from Wrigley Field in Chicago. It is the Houston Astros and the Chicago Cubs, who are a combination of the Cubs and the White Sox. Houston, of course, the combination of the Colt 45s and the Astros.
Play ball!
And let me just make sure the computer is running Houston, because I have to set some of this up manually. Houston coming in 9-6. They are on top of the Midwest Division. Chicago 8-7, one game behind. Leading off for Houston will be Cesar Cedeno. Cruz, the left fielder, will bat second. Bagwell at first base, bat third. Caminiti, the third baseman, bats fourth. Terry Poole in right field, batting fifth. Doran, the second baseman, bats sixth. Brad Ausmus, the catcher, bats seventh. Dickie Thon, the shortstop, bats eighth. And because we use the pitcher's hitting rule and not the DH, Pete Harnich, who is the starting pitcher for Houston today, can go 125 pitches. He will bat ninth. Defensively for the Cubs, Billy Williams, a 5 and a 5 in left field. He could also play center and right, which is how I got confused. Hack Wilson, a 7 and a 5 in center. Bill Nicholson is a 5 and a 7 in right. Robin Ventura, one of the White Sox, is an 8 at third base. Ernie Banks, Mr. Cub, an 8 at shortstop. Eddie Collins, a 9 at second base. Mark Grace is a 7 at first. Gabby Hartnett, a 7 and a 7 catching. Larry Jackson is a 7 pitching. Jackson comes in. This will be his fourth start, I believe. 1-1 on the season. A 2.42 ERA. His whip is below what it should be, which is good. 8.85, and his opposing batting average is an almost obscene 168. Cedeno leads off. He is 10 for 30 with a 333 batting average. 2 homers, 5 ribbies. And that's going to be a base hit to left as Banks made a poor play.
Jose Cruz.
Beg your pardon, folks. The one disadvantage of having this USB headset is I can't really turn it off when I have to cough and when I have to sneeze. Cruz coming in, 7 for 39, 139, no homers, 2 RBIs. The pitch to Cruz is a ball. As we should keep Cedeno honest, we'll try to pick him off. And that keeps him a little farther at bay. A 72% chance he steals second as opposed to 78. We'll pitch to Cruz. And that's a walk. So Houston, right away, they got something going. Jeff Bagwell, 295 on the year. 2 homers and 6 RBIs. First walk of the day for Jackson. And Bagwell walks.
Third baseman,
Caminiti up. 54-degree day at Wrigley Field. The wind going right to left at 9. So it's not blowing out. but it will be a little tricky. The pitch to Caminiti is a high fly to right. Nicholson backing up. Houston should score a run on the deal. Cedeno coming in, and
Right
it's
fielder,
1-0.
Terry, Paul.
Poole, 7 for 34, 206, no homers and 2 ribbies. As Houston is on the board in the very first inning, kind of like Pittsburgh yesterday. Here's the pitch. And yeah, Jackson cannot find the strike zone
Second
worth a
baseman,
darn. That
Bill
is 3.
Duran.
That's 3 walks on the day for Larry Jackson. He's up to 10 now this season. Bill Duran will play for the double play. We're not going to move anybody. And Duran stepping up. He is 1 for 9. Hasn't seen a lot of action. And that's a grounder to the pitcher.
Catcher,
and
Brad
they get
Osmus.
Cruz at home for the 1-2 force. And now it's Brad Osmus, who's off to a good start. 12 for 27, a homer, 3 RBIs, a 444 batting average. And that is caught by
Pitching
Mark
for
Race, a
Houston,
soft line drive.
Harnish.
So Houston
Leading off for
threatened,
Chicago, second baseman, Eddie Collins.
but did not score. Did score 1 run, I beg your pardon. So it's 1-0 going into the Chicago first. We'll go through the Chicago lineup. Collins at second base leads off. Mark Grace at first base. He'll bat second. Hack Wilson at center field bats third. Gabby Harton at the catcher bats fourth. Billy Williams in left batting fifth. Robin Ventura at third bats sixth. Ernie Banks is the shortstop batting seventh. Nicholson in right bats eighth. Larry Jackson is your pitcher. He needed 33 pitches to get out of the first inning. His expected pitch count 130. Harnish's is 125. Defensively for Houston, Cruz, a 7 and a 4 in left field. Cedeno is a 9 and a 6 in center. Poole is a 6, I beg your pardon, a 5 and a 6 in right. It's kind of hard to read the writing sometimes. Caminiti is 7 at third. So is Thon at short. Doran is a 6 at second. Bagwell is a 6 at first. Osmus an 8 and a 6 behind the plate. Harnish a 7 at the mound. And Eddie Collins leading off. He is 15 for 33. Off to a good start this year. Season 1.1 as we're calling it. He's hitting .455. No homers, 6 RBIs. Grounder to Thon. He'll throw to Bagwell. 1 gone.
First baseman, Mark Grace.
Mark Grace off to a slow start. 3 for 21. No homers and 5 RBIs. That's a grounder to Caminiti. It stayed fair. He'll throw to Bagwell,
Center
and he
fielder,
got the out.
Hack Wilson.
Hack Wilson, 263, 2 homers, 7 RBIs. Hit well to left. Cruz going back, and we have a tie game. Hack Wilson will touch them all,
Catcher,
and it's
Gabby
1-1.
Hartnett.
Gabby Hartnett, your fourth hitter, up this inning for Chicago, 323. 4 homers, 12 RBIs. Famous for hitting that homer in the Gloman in the late 30s for the Cubs, which I think got them the National League pennant one year. And this is hit well to center. Cedeno going back when he makes the play at the warning track.
Dickie Thon.
So we have each team scoring a run in the first inning. So it's Houston 1, Chicago 1. As we go to the second, Dickie Thon, 2 for 11, hitting .182. No homers and 2 RBIs. We'll have the pitcher hitting next, Harnish. And this is hit to right. Nicholson charging, makes the put out, 1 gone.
Pete Harnish.
Pete Harnish, the pitcher, hits 118 on his card. He's 1 for 6 this season, 167, no homers, no ribbies. And that's a grounder to first. Grace steps on the bag unassisted, 2 outs. And back to the top of the order for Cesar Cedeno, who is 1 for 1. And this is a grounder to third. Ventura to Grace.
Left fielder,
And that's
Billy
the inning for
Williams.
Houston. Inning and a half gone by. It's 1-1. Billy Williams, the 5 hitter, up for Chicago. He's hitting .267, 8 for 30. No homers, but 8 RBIs. Harnish deals to him. Grounder to the second baseman. Doran throws over to Bagwell. 1 out.
Ventura.
Robin Ventura, 7 for 31 for .226. I guess he's most famous for being the recipient of punches from Nolan Ryan when he charged the mound in a game with the Texas Rangers back in the early 90s. Ryan, who was in his late 40s by then, just stood his ground and gave him the business. So Ventura, not a good bunter. Hits it to right. Poole didn't have to move much, made the play. 2 outs.
Banks.
Ernie Banks, 6 for 30. No homers, 3 RBI, so he's hitting 200. Grounder. Caminiti did get to it before it went into foul territory, and he made the putout 5-3 with the throw over to Bagwell. So we have played 2. It's 1-1. Jose Cruz, 7 for 39. 179, but they have batted around, so why am I giving you the particulars? He hasn't had an at-bat because he walked in inning number 2. Pop down the first base side. Collins, can he get to it? No, he cannot. A foul ball. And we play 1 pitch count on Action PC Baseball. A great game from Dave Koch Sports. If you're watching this on Sunday, February 27th, I think they have a sale of deluxe 1930 seasons for you, 1930 through 39. 1930, of course, was the year the batting averages, the hitters were definitely dominating the pitchers that year. So 1930 would be a good bet if you're into high-scoring games. Back to Jose Cruz. That's a base hit to right field, and Cruz is aboard. Bit of a base-stealing threat. We'll throw over to first to keep him on. Safe is the call. Back to Bagwell. He has not had an official appearance yet, official at bat, because he walked in the first inning. Grounder to Banks, and he'll get the force at second. Can't get Bagwell at first, so Bagwell will assume the position at first base. Ken Caminiti up. He also does not have an official at bat because he had a sacrifice fly that brought in the RBI in the first inning. Pitch to him. Hit well to right. Nicholson going back off the wall. We'll watch Bagwell. He'll hold it third on the double for Ken Caminiti. Terry Poole now up. He also without an official at bat because he also walked in the first inning. But Jackson has found his control. He's at 51 pitches. His APC is 130. And we'll deal to Poole. Grounder. Banks charging. Throws to first. The run will score. And it's 2-1. We did not bring the infield in because we thought Banks would throw to second, throw over to first for the double play. So we kept the double play possibility alive. It wasn't to be, and Houston now leads 2-1. Doran, 0 for 1 today. With 2 outs, we'll just pitch to him. Ball 4, which isn't the worst thing that could happen at this point in the game. Doran moves to first. Caminiti holds at third because you can't move up on a walk if you're new to baseball. And some person might see this video and become new to baseball. You never know. Somebody could be watching this over in Europe and like, what the heck is baseball? Well, anyway, Osmus is 0 for 1. He might be a cricket fan. Banks gets the force to Collins,
Right
so
fielder,
Houston
Bill
only gets 1
Nicholson.
in the third inning. After 2.5, it's 2-1, Houston leading. Now, Bill Nicholson is up. This will be his first at-bat this season, so he's filling in for somebody. Ball 4, he is aboard.
Pitcher, Larry Jackson.
We're going to let the pitcher hit, which is Larry Jackson. By the way, Harnish is at 30 pitches. And we're going to sacrifice, try to get Nicholson over to second base. Jackson's bunt rating is a 5. And there's the bunt. Osmus throws out Jackson, and it gets the job done. Nicholson moves to second. Eddie Collins, 0 for 1, as Chicago batting around now for the second time. A grounder to first base side. A poor play. Collins is safe at first base. Bagwell threw to Harnish. He didn't have to throw long, but somehow the throw went askew. And he got runners at the corners for Chicago with 1 out. Here comes Mark Grace, an exceptional contact hitter. He is 0 for 1 today. Hit to right. Poole going back. It's off the wall. 1 run will score. Collins comes in from first base, and the Cubs take the lead. So it's a 2-run double for Mark Grace, and that makes the score 3-2. So there's power in the top of the order for each team. They are producing runs each time they have come up. Hack Wilson is 1 for 1. He had a homer earlier. That was his 3rd of the year. And that's popped up. It will be Thawne making the grab, and that's the 2nd out for the Cubs in the 3rd. Gabby Hartnett is 0 for 1. 4 homers, 12 RBIs on the year. Hit well to right. Poole makes the play almost at the warning track. So the Cubs pick up 2 in the 3rd, and they lead 3-2. We go to the 4th. Dickie Thawne is 0 for 1. And this is hit to left. Williams makes the play at the warning track for the 1st out. 2-3-0 for Houston, 3-3-0 for Chicago. Houston has left 5 on base. Chicago only 1. We're to the pitcher hitting again. It's Pete Harnisch. We're going to bring the corners in. Actually, we're not. Well, we'll bring them in. It's got a bunt here. And that's Grace to Jackson, and he gets the out. So maybe it was a wise idea to bring the corners in. 2 outs for Cesar Cedeno as Houston now goes through the lineup a 3rd time. Cedeno is 1 for 2. Banks will charge that ground ball, throws to Grace, side retired. We have played 3.5. It's 3-2 Cubs. Billy Williams back up. He is 0 for 1 on the day. The pitch. That's a base hit right field. So Williams aboard. Robin Ventura up. He is 0 for 1. That's sharply hit the right field. Base hit. Williams goes to 3rd on the play. So Chicago with a good chance to score again in the 4th. Ernie Banks 0 for 1. And that's hit well, and it's gone. Back. Hey, a home run for Ernie Banks. 3-run homer, and it's 6-2. And you were wondering whose home run I was doing. That was Jack Brickhouse. Maybe if they hit another home run, I'll do Harry Carey for you. Nicholson back in the game. Walked in the 3rd, and Chicago has blown this open a little bit. Grounded to first, Bagwell to the bag unassisted. 1 out in the Cubby 4th. Larry Jackson will come up, and we're not going to have him bunt. He's just going to hit for normal. The pitch. Grounder to Doran, who had the charge, throw over to Bagwell. 2 outs now for Eddie Collins, who is 1 for 2. Grounder to 3rd, Caminiti, Bagwell. No, they don't get him. He's safe. Safe at first base. So Chicago. And how many rallies do you see in baseball with 2 outs? So you never know here. Cubs will work to try to make it a more than 1 swing game at 6-2. Grace is 1 for 2 now on the game. The pitch. Safe as they try a pickoff move. Harnisch at 59 pitches. They're keeping him in despite the fact that he has already given up 6 runs. I don't know how many of them were earned, but we'll look into that after the game is over. The pitch up the middle. Doran to Thawne to get the force at 2nd. So the Cubbies are out in the 4th. They pick up 3. They picked up 1 in the 1st, 2 in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th, and they lead 6-2. To the 5th inning we go, the middle inning. I used to listen to CBS radio back in the 80s and 90s. They did a game of the week, and it wasn't always the televised game of the week. And the 5th inning was always the hometown inning. Like, for instance, if it applied to this game, they'd bring in the Houston announcer, and he'd call the top of the 5th, and they'd bring in a Chicago announcer. Probably would have been back in the 90s, Drain Stats, who's been with the Rays since their inception, still with them. And he would call the bottom of the 5th. Cruz is 1 for 1. Grounder, and that is a bunt single, it looked like. Cruz is aboard with a base hit. That was either a bunt or a little dribbler, and Cruz is aboard. The score is 6-2. A little bit of a cheap hit there. Bagwell 0 for 1 on the day. Great play by Banks to trigger a 6-4-3 double play. Nicely done by Mr. Cub. And now Caminiti up. He is 1 for 1. Ball 4. He takes his base. Second time Caminiti has gotten the free pass today. Terry Poole 0 for 1. And this has a little bit of line drive to it. A base hit. Caminiti moved up to third on the single. So now it's a little bit of a crunch time here for Larry Jackson. He's at 81 pitches. He'd like to get credit for the win here, but he's going to have to earn it. Doran is 0 for 1. Yes, a little confab on the mound would be in order. Grounder, Collins gets the force at second. And that's it. So Houston threatens but does not score. We go to the bottom of the fifth with the Cubs leading 6-2. Hack Wilson 1 for 2.
Strike 3.
Strike 3 called. That is the first K of the game for Harnish. He's up to 15 this season. 7 walks, 15 Ks. Now has a 7.89 ERA, 0-1 on the year. His whip and average above normal. Hartnett is 0 for 2. And this is hit to right. Poole going back, making the grab at the warning track for the second out. Billy Williams is 1 for 2.
Strike 3.
Strike 3 call. We have played 5. Chicago 6 and the Houstoners 2. Back to the top, not to the top of the order, but back to Houston for the top of the 6th. That's what I was trying to say. Osmus catching 0 for 2. Grounder to Collins. He bobbles it, throws to first. They still get the out. 1 gone for Dickie Flawn, who was 0 for 2. Grounder to third. Ventura. Grace. 2 outs. Now, will Harnish hit for himself here? Let's see. He will. Base hit left field. We pitched him aggressively, and Harnish stroked 1 to left. Cedeno is 1 for 3. Grounder. So Jackson back over to Grace for first, and the side is retired. So nothing for Houston in the 6th. Chicago looking like they'll be tied for Houston for the lead atop the Midwest Division after this game. And it's 6-2. Ventura, 1 for 2. Grounded to right field. Poole grabs it. It's a base hit for Robin. Banks, a homer, 3 RBIs today. He's 1 for 2, looking for his second home run. Grounder to third. Caminiti, they'll try the 5-4-3 double play, and they'll get it. So we go from none out to 2 out. Nicholson is 0 for 1. Caminiti charging, throws to Bagwell, close play, safe. Now, you got an interesting situation. Jackson, 37 pitches away from his expected pitch count. We'll keep him in. And Harnish deals. That's a little duck snort. Base hit. Nicholson goes to third on the single. So patience pays off there. Runners at the corners. 2 outs for Eddie Collins, who is 2 for 3. Chicago would love to get another run here. Make it a 2-swing game. 6-2. Ball 4, so the bases are juiced. The base is full of Cubs. For Mark Grace, 4 for 24. He'd like to get a hit here, I'm sure. Little confab on the mound. Here's the pitch. Grounder to right field, a base hit. That scores 1. Could score 2. Jackson, yes, he does come in. And it's 8-2. And the Houston manager has seen enough. It's going to be a call to the bullpen for Bill Dawley.
Pitching for Houston, Bill Dawley.
4 2/3 innings pitched. has given up 1 go for ball, 2 walks, 3 Ks. His whip is 1.286. His opposing batting average, 222, a 3.86 ERA. No decisions. And Hack Wilson comes into the game 1 for 3. Hit well to center, but Cedeno should get to this, and he does. Side retired. So the Cubbies tacking on some more damage with 2 in the 6th. We have played 6. 8-2, Cubs lead. Cruz is 2 for 2. There's a drive to the left. Williams gets to it just before getting to the dirt on the warning track for the first out. Bagwell 0 for 2. Ball 4 to him. That is walk number 6 for Larry Jackson, but he should be given some slack here. As long as the score stays this distant. That'll bring up Caminiti, who is 1 for 1 on the day with 2 walks. Banks gets the play at first, and that moves Bagwell to second. Great play for Banks, and I think he's had a few of those today. He'd be the lead candidate for player of the game honors. Terry Poole, 8 for 36, 1 for 2 today. Collins over to Grace, stretch time in Chicago. It's 8-2, the Cubbies leading the Astros here. Gabby Hartnett up to the plate. It's Hartnett, Williams, and Ventura, the scheduled hitters, in the Cubby 7th inning. Hartnett 0 for 3 today. Hit well to left. Cruz at the track making the play. 1 out. Billy Williams is 1 for 3. Strike 3 called. That is the first K of the game for Pauly, who has now pitched an inning. Hello, Dolly. Robin Ventura is 2 for 3. That's ball 4, so he takes his base. That brings up Ernie Banks again, 1 for 3, but he had that 3-run homer in the first. He'd be my pick for player of the game so far. Dolly, a miscue, catching that one. Everybody safe. And that was the first error of the game, and it comes to the pitcher. Bill Nicholson is 1 for 2. The pitch. Ball 4. So you got the bases loaded with 2 outs, and you got the pitcher hitting. Jim Ray coming into the game. 587, 1-0. 5 walks, 10 Ks, a 1.826 average. And his opposing batting average, 281.
Pitching for
so
Houston,
he's been underperforming.
Jim Ray.
I am going to pull Jackson here and ask the age-old question of who could hit a righty. And I think my answer is going to be Kyler. Kai Kyler.
For Chicago, Kiki, Foiler.
This will be his first at-bat of the season. He should average 339 with a 938 OPS. Ray to Kyler. Base hit. That'll score at least 2, maybe 3. Banks is in. Nicholson coming in. Kyler safe at third, a triple. And it's a rout now. The Cubs pick up 3 on a 3-1 triple by Kai Kyler. And it's 11-2. Holy cow! Eddie Collins, 2 for 3. And that's a base hit. That plates Kyler. RBI single for Eddie Collins. It's 12-2. Grace now stepping up. He's 2 for 4. And everybody but Gabby Hartnett has had a hit excluding pitchers, although Larry Jackson did have 1-2. Grace is 2 for 4. Grounder to second base, Doran to Bagwell, and they finally get that third out. But the Cubs have now had innings where they have put up 1, put up 2, put up 3, put up 4. At the end of 7, it's 12-2 in favor of Chicago. And they had another inning in the 5th where they put up 2. Make that the 6th. So we'll have a new pitcher for the Cubbies. We want to find somebody who could go at least a few pitches. And let's see, it's going to be switch righty-righty. Look for a good righty here. We'll go with Folk, who could go 75 pitches. Keith Folk will be seeing his first action. Normally a reliever. His card is 4 wins, 4 losses, 22 saves. Opponent should hit .219 off of him. He's got a .305 ERA, but he has not seen action this season. Duran is 0 for 2. So Wilson makes the play at the warning track for the first out. Probably see some subs come in for the Cubs in the 9th. Osmus is 0 for 3. To Banks, over to first. 6-3 on that out. Second out of the inning. Dickie Thon 0 for 3. The Astros need runs in bunches, and they don't get them there. A 1-2-3 inning for Keith Folk. We have played 7.5. The Cubbies leading 12-2. Wilson 1 for 4. Start the bottom of the 8th. This is the type of game where Skip Carey used to say, well, if you want to turn off the radio, you can, but be sure to visit our sponsors. So I'll mention the fact that I'm starting a meditation and relaxation channel. I'll put a link in the description below. See how I got that in? Ray to Wilson. Hit well to center, but Cedeno should make the play there, and he does. 1 out. Let's go back to the lineup sheet here for the Cubs. Now, Hartnett can get that base hit everybody else has had in the lineup today. He is 0 for 4. Hit to center. Back. It is high, it is far. It could be, it might be. It is a home run for Gabby Hartnett. So every Cub has now had a hit in the starting lineup, and it's 13-2. Williams, 1 for 4. I had to think of a second for what Harry Carey's home run call was. That's Thon to Bagwell, 6-3 for that out, and Robin Ventura is 2 for 3.
Strike 3.
Strike 3 call.
Pitcher, Jim Ray.
Jim Ray will come up. 13-2, the Cubbies blowing away the Houston Astros this day. And what I want to do is I want to put in... No, it's not letting me do it. Okay, we're going to put in some subs. Jeff Coates going to play center. He'll be the 3-hitter. We're going to put Appling in. No, we're going to put Aparicio in at shortstop. Nellie Fox will be the new second baseman. And the new catcher will be Sherm Lawler. As we put in some scrubs, who aren't really scrubs, but these are all-time teams. And with the Cubbies, you got the Cubbies and the White Sox. So Folk will work a second inning with a new catcher. Jeff Cote is a 7 and a 6 at center field, and he's a good utility guy. He could also pitch. Aparicio is a 10 at shortstop. Fox is a 9 at second. Lawler is an 8 with a 6 arm behind the dish.
Pinch hitting for Houston, Sean Berry.
Sean Berry coming in for Houston. This will be his first plate appearance. Ball 4. So Berry aboard. He's very fleet of foot. Cesar Cedeno. Folk is only at 21 pitches, so I'm going to give him a lot of leeway here. Cedeno 1 for 4. That's a K for Folk, his first of the game and of the season. Jose Cruz comes in 2 for 3 on the day. That's K number 2 for Folk, so back-to-back Ks. Now, can he strike out 3 in a row? Here's Jeff Bagwell up. He is 0 for 2 on the day. Grounder to third. This should do it. Be a close play, and Bagwell got in there. And the first base umpire begrudgingly called him safe, knowing that that would delay the game a little bit from finishing, but Houston's given another crack at it. Caminiti is 1 for 2. That's going to be a base hit. We'll watch Barry. He'll move to home. He scores. Everybody moves up a base on the throw, and it's 13-3. Terry Poole is 1 for 3 this day. Pitch to him. Oh, we're going to have a pinch hitter.
Walling.
Denny Walling, 1 for 10 on the season. He's hitting 100. He has no homers, no ribbies. Grounder to Fox. He'll throw to Grace. The game is over. And the Bears beat the Texans 13-3. Game took 3 hours, 25 minutes to play on a nice afternoon at Wrigley Field, a Saturday afternoon. But we're going to change that starting. And I actually might do a few more HTBL games. I might sneak in 1 or 2 during the week for you all. When I'm not doing Big Pauly's Fight Night, or I'm not doing the Professional Wrestling Tour, I am going probably to give you some more bonus HTBL. But don't quote me on that. Your MVP of the game was Ernie Banks, which would have been my pick. Go through the pitching. It was Harnish, the loser. He goes to 0-2. Jackson won the game, pitching 7 innings. He goes 2-1. Caminiti was 2 for 3 with a double. Harnett 1 for 5 and a home run. Nicholson 1 for 2, 2 walks. Eddie Collins 3 for 4. But Banks hit the 3-run homer. He went 1 for 4 with that home run. And that'll do it for this day in the HTBL. I'll play out the Saturday and Sunday games. And we could probably be back as soon as tomorrow. But we're definitely going to try to do a game during the week. So don't quote me on when we'll do it. But it's in the works. I'll just put it to you that way. This has been Big Pauly coming to you, wishing you well. Godspeed. God bless. We'll do it again real soon. Well, if I do it more, I'll get better at it. Bye-bye for now, everybody.